But this ain't just about me now. It's for the Gov.
I won't leave your side. From now on, I'll protect you.
No, Alistair! Don't leave me!
You worthless fools! Prepare to be crushed! You will never pester me again!
Climb up, Dominguez.
You'll pay for what you did.
We'll put an end to this here and now.
Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King.
You will writhe in the unbearable agony of these thorns forever!
What a surprise! A trip back to Dragon Quest VIII. Hello everybody, my name is Ginger, Ginjati, Jinji, whatever variation you would like, and today I'm seeing if I can beat Dragon Quest VIII with no tension allowed. So, what is tension? A tensegrity table, line of duty, tug of war, an action in Dragon Quest VIII that creates a huge amount of damage and can break boss fights. No. Well, I mean, technically the last one, but for this run we're not having any of those. No tug of war, no line of duty, no tables, and no actions in Dragon Quest VIII. So, my name's been That One Dude. If you enjoyed, I'm glad you did, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But in all reality, tension, if you've seen my Dragon Quest VIII playthrough, is very much something that I've used in every single fight, pretty much. Maybe the boss fights. It is an action that can be done certain ways. So, for example, if we wanted to psych up, we can't do that action. We can't do the Timbrel of Tension, nor can we do Highly Strung Cheese. All of those avenues are no longer applicable. There are some enemies that will do an attack that will psych us up. We can't avoid that, so we are allowing that, but we are not allowed to do any action that would allow us to create tension. As we've seen, in my playthroughs, I've used them in nearly every single boss fight. So it is going to be a bit of a challenge to make sure that I don't use that at all in any of the boss fights. So we're going to see how it goes. So wish me luck, I suppose. We start off in the village of Fairbury, and the inhabitants attack a king for looking ugly. I'm guessing they don't have mirrors, or they don't use them at least. We're asked for a Bristol core from a full water so Mystic Meg can make her comeback. We decide, maybe, and set off leveling before we go spelunking or potholing to find a merman. As standard, we raid the town, get an OK boomer, rang, and being lactose intolerant, get cheese! Diving into the cave, we find a tantalizing hunk of bougie glass hovering from a string. Like the throat goat going for a carrot in ancient Roman times that we are, and surprise! So, not a massively different fight for Giza, really. So, using the boomerang-wielding, bandana-wearing, hero to attack while Youngus heals when needs be and attacks when he's not being hit with depression. You should defeat this with relative ease. Again, use the hero if you do go like massively under health, and you should be fine. It's not massively different. I didn't expect this one to be, though, to be fair. Smelling fire, we scurry over to start the hardest boss fight.
What on earth are you two rascals up to now? Stop it at once.
Oh, okay. Oh. Oh, right.
Okay. Nope. Okay, plan B. Oh, shit.
So instead, what we've now got to do is go and find Rapunzel in her tower. The tower made me fight frog faces one at a time, so they didn't show their face. I need that tongue, baby. I need that tongue.
Can I get a oh yeah?
Rapunzel refuses to lower her hair, and so we go into a squid fight because, well, tentacles.
FBI, open up!
What a thrill.
Defending when he blows you and healing when needed from the hero mainly, because Youngus has got the higher attack, and attacking any spare turns. This fight is really all this fight is. It's a nice easy fight. It's again not too different. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So making sure you've got some medicinal herbs in case all your healing goes. So that you've used all your MP for healing. Make sure you've got medicinal herbs just in case. And it should be it should be a breeze, this fight. It's not that difficult, so don't worry too much. We stop being a sausage fest party because finally
I've never really learned how to act right. And you can hold the beat, cause bitch I'm too busy trying to roll the key. And bitch you too.
we're able to cook other things using the alchemy pot. We travel through the bird port and go to my hometown complex, Trauma Village, and start a pub brawl. After a raging hangover and ending up with a random's ring, that we decide we're never going to do that again and vow at a church. Ariana Grande was right by saying God is a woman, and yet all the holy warriors aren't. We're told the world smells funny and we've got to go to a shelter where the old church was, just in case an air raid comes along. And then we eventually find what religion does to you and fight the result. Despite summoning goons, there is nothing that they can do that will really save this guy. Twin Dragon Lash, Axe Attacks, Boomeranging will make this a very speedy fight. Jessica just makes this fight very easy. If you've got Bang, that will help get rid of the other enemies, but as will Boomerangs as well. There is nothing really worrying in this fight, just healing when you've got a chance if you need to. But this has never been a tricky fight, like, at all. So let's hurry on to the next place. So after doing necromancy of our own and arising from the back of the abbot's grave, we do get arrested. And my goddess, they're kinky, with all these chains and cells. And we eventually get tortured, well, because spikes. When a completely natural accident occurs, we decide maybe we should run. And we decide to go to a castle. Hey, kid!
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
You seem busy, no worries. So at this point we have all the party members that we get in the PS2 game, which is the one I choose to play exclusively. Call me a dickhead, I don't care. So, if you are a glutton for punishment, or you want to do this run, we need to talk about where skill points are placed going forward. So the easiest to place is Yangus, as his strongest attribute is the axes for Helm Splitter, Parallax, and also for Liquid Metal Slime hunting, or Metal Slime hunting, Hatchet Man and Executioner. So that is where he's going to. Starting on Humanity to get heal and Kabuff, we then just mainly heal, then just spam axes until the level cap, and then until we get Kabuff. Jessica is the next easiest to place, with whips and staves being the clear pack leader for her. So what we want to do is we want to get whips up to 43 so we can get tons of damage under the right conditions, and then stave up the points until we reach the max so we can get Kazing. So whips and sex appeal can be shared. Whip should only go as high as 68 for the final attack upgrade, because otherwise the skills that we get from 68 above aren't really worth it. Angelo was a bit harder, and I did do this kind of umming and ahhing when I did my actual playthrough on the channel a while ago. So it's between swords and bows. So he is supporting a lot of the time, so the magic can run out faster, and when we run out of magic, we're more screwed than Twink and Gran Canaria, which is quite worrying. If we lean more to bows, which is what I do think they do have the edge for multiple reasons. So it's the potentially stronger multi-shot, admittedly Falcon Slash with 2 hits at 75%, while multi-shot is 3 to 4 hits at 50%, so anywhere from 150 to 200%, which is higher. Falcon Blade and Falcon Slash can be 220% damage though, but still. The magic regen you get from bows and the stronger end game bow, which is the Odin's bow, which is 125, compared to the liquid metal sword, which is 118, where you have to also sacrifice Orichalcum, means that bows, for me, do lead to be a bit more supreme. Staves and a bit of charisma makes Angelo a good support character and very good overall. The hero is the hardest to place in this one, and the debate between swords versus spears versus boomerangs versus courage plays on my mind quite a lot. If we say we have a total of 350 skill points by level 99, and there are about 6 seeds of skill in the game, in the main game, not the post game, and this means we get a maximum point usage of 380 if we used on the same character. Using that, admittedly we're not going to go to level 99, but using that we need to decide kind of where to place all the skill points. So courage needs to be 100 for a few different reasons. Kazap, magic, MP, halved, things like that, really useful. So now we need to have a look at swords, spears, or boomerangs. Boomerangs do fade into obscurity mid-game, so we don't want to put too many points there, but spears are more useful for the bosses by a smidge in the main game, but swords are really useful post-game. So getting boomerangs to 40 and courage up to 100 like I did before, and then going to spears for the main game, but putting points every so often into swords, so we're making sure that we're going to get at least the final attack upgrade by the time we reach end of game, or at least, you know, partway through post game, is really good in my opinion. It does make it a little bit more palatable for post game. You can just get rid of swords swords and spears, it is either swords or spears, and just do one. So you can just do all swords or all spears. It does make it an easy decision, but very much I like spears. I think that the multi-thrust is a little bit more powerful. We do get a lot more powerful spears very early on, even if well, not even early on, but like even midway through the game. So when we get rank A in the monster arena, we do get the hero spear, which is 100 points of damage, which is still more powerful than the majority of swords you get for a while. But still, you know, that's just a personal preference. You can do it however you want to. In short, basically, it's exactly the same as my normal playthrough before. But every seed of skill goes to the hero just because we need to make sure we're as powerful as we can, and the hero has got a lot more umming and ahhing than any other person. So that's kind of the skill point generation we'll be doing. But there is a little bit of flexibility around what's going on. But sorry, carry on with the story. So now, I don't really know where to go. I'm a bit lost.
I got lost.
You got lost?
A lot.
I don't know if I'm ready to deal with my own depression as well as Padam Padotza right now. But then Yangas, you know, the height of fashion, sophistication that he is, recommends we go to the posh Pickingham and see the clientele of a Weatherspoons. Oh, the upper echelon of society. Do you smell that?
You can usually smell them, can't you?
What, the muffins?
No, old people.
It's clear that most women are unhappy here, as everyone hasn't seen anything wet in years.
It was the person standing opposite me in the rain.
Is it still raining? I hadn't noticed.
I love the way that Pickingham is so deprived, it's actually turned into a desert. In the desperate need to fuel his addiction, Trode sells his daughter for a couple of glasses of vino and expects us to gallop to the rescue. Well, maybe. We've got a few more important things to do first. There is a casino here. And because I'm a masochist, the casino is off limits for this challenge. We decide probably what's best to do is to go treasure hunting. And while we're going hunting, we do find a wonderfully big, beautiful chest. After trying to touch it, we do run to the Swordsman's Labyrinth, so we don't get arrested for having an inappropriate feel. We find a jewel to give to the big chest, because he's definitely the one for us. And when we end up being mauled, but not by the chest we wanted. So this fight is mainly annoying for the status effects of sleep and confusion. We do now have access to oomph though, so it means that everyone hits that slightly bit harder, but the only problem is that it is single target only. So if we wanted to get oomph for everybody, Jessica's got to waste 4 turns. And by that point you might as well just start reapplying oomph anyway. With this as well, when you do multi-attacks such as multi-thrust, Falcon Slash, Twin Dragon Lash, and multi-shot, it does mean that it only affects the first one. So it does raise a question, maybe Falcon Slash is better, but we're not going to get into that discussion here, so it's fine, but it's just something we need to be aware of. I do tend to misplace my oomph. I tend to always put it on the multi ones because I think it's better. I don't know why. I should just be putting it on Yangas because it makes more sense, but oh well. So this boss, I like stealing high damage, very much like how Oprah likes to give out cars. So to mitigate this, Kabuff and regular healing, whether it be spells or cooking from the alchemy pot, is key here. This is the first battle that we've got all the party members, which is great, but it's showing the uses a lot more than previous ones. So the hero being a bit more versatile, while Angelo is a femme top. Support character. Jessica and Lesso Yangas are support that tips more aggressive later in the fights. So they start off being a little bit more supportive. with Yangus doing Kabuff and Jessica doing the Insulate Magic Barrier and things like that, but then slowly starting to get more aggressive. Yangus tends to be a lot more aggressive faster than Jessica does, but that is kind of how it's going to be a little bit more from now on. Jessica can be aggressive only if the support has been done, but it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see that this is like a turning point in the game. So after having our hearts broken from being rejected by a big lover, we think actually maybe that Pavan kind of feels our pain. So we decide to go and have a bitch fest. However, we also are members of Unofficial Queer Eye.
Yes!
So we decide that we need to make him redecorate.
By all means, move at a glacial pace. You know how that thrills me.
What are you wearing? Before we pick our brains and go and find a beached whale. But, enough about my ex.
I was very nervous playing in the sand because I thought for sure Greenpeace was going to come and harpoon her.
We realize we've just done a big circle from the start of the game, and we find that this desert used to be very watery, but then it's dried up.
It's almost kind of like your vagina.
We do go goth and we head into the night because we need a better harpy. The harpies tend to be very much busy in ancient Greece and with Percy Jackson, so we decide to go and dig Dugorn up. So I have been using the Monster Arena just in this playthrough because the rewards from the Monster Arena are huge. I'm not gonna lie, they are huge and they are really rewarding and they are important. And also, I think it's kind of fun. It gives me a bit of downtime from it. But we do use our monster team here and realized, oh, they do big number damage. They did 512 damage. This is around about 40% of the boss's health. Now, we understand that maybe that's not going to be consistent going forward. It might not always be the 40% health, but if you watch my other playthrough, which, can if you want, we do realize that actually they did do a lot of damage and it did rely on them a lot. So, because this is a challenge, that kind of removes a lot of the challenge as well. So very much like with the casino and the other limitations I've put on, this is the only fight where I use the monster team because I realize actually they are going to cause too much of a problem in terms of longevity. They will also get stronger, the monster team, with the more monsters that we do in. So boss fights, I'm not allowed to have monster teams, but we are allowed to use them for normal fights or to fight other infamous monsters. However, I will say that if I hit a brick wall, monster teams will be the first thing that we will be allowed in. So, Dig Dug doesn't take much to kill after you get rid of his friends, and then we get the many stringed ukulele. So I don't mean to harp on, so I decide to give it to the love child of Seymour Guado, Legolas, and Yaha, who I'm still traumatized by when he had a thing for my feet. Medea starts her X Factor audition.
Sat on floaty highs, or if you want to fill the floor, I got the super sexy swinging thing that you just can't ignore. You want to hear some metal? You want to hear me roar? I got the X Factor, so show me your stage door.
Ahoy, my hearties! Let's set like a car boot sail and book it.
Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. You're our favorite indeed. Being a pirate is a right indeed. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
We do stumble into Back-a-Mouse and drop some eaves and find out there's been a heist of lethal proportions. Has just been carried out, but the only thing heisted was someone's life. So they weren't really a good burglar. We do find out from the local wildlife people that there was a jester that gave someone the Dixon Cox, so we decide to run from the town pervert because I feel uncomfortable. We do then help out somebody in order to find some pussy for him, as they seem to have been lost, and then we throw some powder on there. We then stumble to Argonia, where suddenly Trode remembers that he was part of an illegal gambling ring and accidentally sold his daughter to Argonia when he bankrupted his kingdom while very inebriated. So he goes to hide in the bushes where he usually is. And we ransack the city and get roped into helping the prince out. We start hunting lizards with Prince Cottage Cheese.
It's Charmley, you clot.
Until a large shadow appears, but it's not my depression this time. Don't walk into this fight thinking this is going to be hard or it's going to be difficult, because we have the mighty, the gargantuan, the uncomparable power of Prince Charmless in this fight.
I'm gonna cry! I'm gonna cry because you're such a piece of shit!
Oh, shit.
Kabuffing out the wazoo will help with the damage that you'll be taking, and umphing the bigger hitters would be helpful. I have said before, but just a reminder, multi-hit attacks will only affect the first hit. So I have a really bad habit of umphing only the hero or Angelo, but we need to actually start focusing on umphing Yangas. And then the next best person would be Jessica. As she uses Twin Dragon Lash, it's only 2. But having Angelo and the hero having multi-hits abilities, it really does trivialize this battle when you have the amount of oomph and you're lowering the defense of the enemies. So definitely, it's not a difficult fight, even when you don't have Prince Coleslaw on your team. So, the only thing bizarre in Argonia to me is why they think capitalism is the way forward. We do find a very shady dealer that is totally just selling hearts. Hi, American Hospital and Organ Donation in a game. How are you doing tonight? We do get a mirror, so we can look at how cute we look. Ooh. But then we decide to go and hunt down an unfunny jester to demand a refund. Because unlike in Disenchantment, we don't have a trapdoor to send him down. So just before we get into the fight with Dolmagus, just want to say this game is deceptive marketing at its finest. If you look at the trailers, it's heavily implied that this is the final boss. So going up and fighting Dolmagus is that crescendo to the end and the final boss. Obviously, it would be a very short game if it was the end, but that leaves everything afterwards as completely unknown. And even now, I get really excited to fight this boss, despite the fact I know it's not the end. This is the boss that I get most excited for. So it's nice having, that feeling and mentioning it, because it is, nostalgia glasses are there, but they still hold true right now. So this boss is in two fights, so let's start off with part 1. So early on, Dolmagus does split himself into 3, and this could be showing how his mind works if I want to study English, or it's a very basic imitation of Voldemort. The hero is a good damage dealer here, with spears for single target. Multi-thrust is random, so it is one to avoid. Because when Dolmagus creates the clones, when you do multi-thrust, you don't know actually who you're going to hit, so it's quite difficult. But using Zap or a throwing stick will damage all of them, so that's quite useful. Wave of Ice is really destroying our setup that takes us so long to do. So Angelo is using Kabuff and healing for the most part, and maybe gets the odd attack out. Yangas is helping with Kabuff before attacking the main guy, while Jessica is really good with Twin Dragon Lash that affects one of the Dolmaguses or Dolmagi. And that's quite important because with the multi-hits, multi-thrust, multi-shot, I think it's only those two actually. With multi-shot and multi-thrust, you don't know who you're going to hit, whereas Twin Dragon Lash and even so Falcon Slash only affects one target. So with her using Twin Dragon Lash and only affecting one, it's quite useful. But she also has Boom, which affects all of them pretty effectively. So focusing on the middle one makes sense, as that can act twice per turn, heal, I don't think the others can, and create more, and potentially could create more doppelgangers. I've never experienced him to do that because I've never not destroyed him first. After he falls, the clones won't take long to fall too, so as they have significantly less health, so it should be a quick fight after the main guy goes down.
not been healing, I would have crushed you in an instant. But never mind. It is time we brought this little show to an end. What a pity. What a pity it will be to finally say goodbye. Now, taste my true power. You will ride in the unbearable agony of these thorns forever. What? Why isn't it working? What kind of trickery is this? Ah, you leave me no choice. Now, you will face my true might!
You worthless fools! Prepare to be crushed! You will never pester me again!
So this has been a very cursed project. Thank you for anyone that is watching. This is part one. This wasn't going to be split over multiple ones. However, I've got to the point where I kind of need to. The last 4 months I've actually left this project, and the 4 months prior to that, at least, that is what I was working on, probably longer than that. So it's been a very long project. Lots of things have happened, and so I've got to the point where I need to actually split this up. Just to get that dopamine. I've done one project, brilliant, move on. Because yeah, I'm very broken by this. Didn't anticipate it to be so difficult as it has been. Hopefully you've enjoyed part one. I'm trying something a bit different. I don't know how well it's going, but part two, I'm going to try some other things as well, some new things, and then go back to uploading the schedule that I was doing, because I've missed YouTube a bit. So yeah, I am coming back, and this is going to be part one. I'll do a little bit of a breakdown of why this has been cuss project after all the projects have been done. But part two is mostly edited. I've got about half an hour, maybe just under, already edited, ready to go, but it's just been exhausting, and I don't necessarily think that people want an hour-long video. At least it's probably going to be an hour and a half just doing this project, so I think doing it in several parts might be a bit more palatable for everybody as well. So I will get back to it. I am gonna do this, but I think that for my own sanity, I just need to break this up, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So this has been part 1. If you have enjoyed, fantastic. Mine has been That One Dude. Please feel free to drop a little comment of what you liked, what you didn't, all of that. And hit subscribe if you haven't already, but again, don't have to. If you didn't enjoy it, I'm really sorry I've wasted your time. So again, you can feel free to leave me a hate comment down below. I don't care. I don't mind. I'll relish it. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you'll join me in part 2 and maybe part 3 and maybe post game as well. I might do just for all of your enjoyment. But again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in part 2.